Alright, everybody, welcome to something different again. It is now week 8. We are 7 weeks through the NFL season. So around the mid-season mark, we kind of know where teams, like who's going to be competing for playoffs and even Super Bowl, who's going to be competing for the number 1 pick. We can kind of see where some of these teams may fall now, barring some pretty big injuries. The top 10 to 12 will probably be the same, definitely in a different order than we see at the moment, but we will hop right into the number 1 overall pick. And I think the last couple of weeks actually have definitely favored Drake Maye, and to me, Drake Maye has closed the gap a lot more than some people might think, just from Caleb Williams against top 25 teams, Caleb Williams comments for sure. There's just a couple things with Caleb Williams right now that kind of scare me from taking him. Now, this could also be a trade-up spot for a team like maybe the Giants, the Patriots definitely, maybe even the Broncos, even though that Russell Wilson contract is horrendous. But I'm just going to stick here and take Caleb Williams for the Bears, and we're going to say Justin Fields probably gets traded. But don't be surprised if Drake Maye starts becoming the number 1 overall pick for some people in their mock drafts. Now to pick number 2, which is the Cardinals. This is their actual pick. Their pick they got from, Houston, is a lot further back, surprisingly. Or was it Houston? Or was it the Lions? I don't remember now. I thought it was Houston. I don't remember now. Anyways, Houston gave someone their first round pick. We're going to take Marvin Harrison because he is the best non-quarterback prospect. Plain and simple. He went for, what was it, like somewhere around 10 catches for 130 yards and a touchdown against Kalen King, who is thought to be a top pick for this corner class. That's also a really good corner class, and a Penn State defense as well that's really good. So, Chicago's second pick here at number 3. I think you got to be thinking in the trenches here. A receiver is sexy, but Marvin Harrison is gone. So this receiving class is deep enough to where you can wait. But I think here we're just going to take Olu Fashanu and call it a day. And if the Bears get out of here with Caleb Williams and Olu Fashanu, that is an incredible class just from day 1. So now that's another trade down spot with Denver here. Could take a quarterback. I'm not going to have them taking a quarterback. I think they could be someone to steal a tackle, actually. And that tackle probably is going to be Joe Alt, if we go that direction. Now, they also need some edge help. They got rid of Randy Gregory and Frank Clark already. So it's basically just Zach Allen out there. Bradley Chubb, they traded away last year to the Dolphins. So they're really looking for some trench depth as well. Now, for me, Jared Verse is my edge 1. You could definitely make a case for Dallas Turner. I think JT is also really good. Chop Robinson is really good. Where's Leatu Latu in here. Do they have him at linebacker? Interesting. ZTF is also really good. He will not be a day 3 pick. I can guarantee that. Oh, yes. So they do have Leatu Latu as a linebacker, which he definitely is athletic enough to play linebacker. He's athletic enough to play damn near any position. And he has been a one-man wrecking crew at UCLA this year, so. This is a much tougher pick than it might look, because Drake Maye is also, like, should be in the mind of Sean Payton. Brock Bowers as well, man. Like, that Russell Wilson contract is just so bad, though. Do you risk that? I'm going to say they will. We'll go with Drake Maye here. Which you could go a multitude of different directions, which we just went over. But to the New York Giants, my New York Giants. And honestly, we need edge help. We also need DB help. We could take our selection of Kool-Aid McKinstry, and that might be the pick here. Because I do think he probably is the best defensive prospect right now. And, I mean, Verse and Turner are close. Leatu Latu is making a case as well, like I went over. This could definitely be a receiver. Malik Neighbors is amazing. Egbuka is awesome as well. Keon Coleman, the transfer king. Holy cow, man. Thank God he's not on Michigan State, and we actually get to see this man pop off. Romeo Dunze as well is a star. But this secondary needs some help. I don't know if Adoree Jackson's coming back, and it's going to be Deonte Banks and Kool-Aid McKinstry next year, which is who we're going to take at number 5 for the Giants. I mean, Wink's scheme is man-dependent, obviously, but Kool-Aid McKinstry can play man or zone, and he will be just fine. New England at number 6, and this one to me is pretty easy. Go get Joe Alt, man, before the Packers can take him, because he is a stud, and the Patriots need some help. I could have gone wide receiver there, but I think this class is good enough, and I also don't think Bill Belichick takes a wide receiver at number 6. So, also pretty crazy that Belichick but Belichick got a multi-year contract extension from basically doing nothing, and then he goes out and beats the Bills. But that's just Belichick for you. Number 7, the Green Bay Packers, who has had a little bit of a down year, but we got to remember this is Jordan Love's first year starting, so we knew there were going to be some struggles. Offensive line would definitely be a move here. However, unless you're really high on Amarius Mims or maybe Jordan Morgan, or do they have the kid from Oregon State in here? Joshua Gray is here. Who's the other one, though? I don't remember. Hold on. Talise Fuaga is the name I was thinking of. I don't know if he's in here, though. Which, that's fine. Oh, yeah, he is. He's just at interior. He is a big-time prospect. Kind of projection-based, like an Amarius Mims. Patrick Paul has really stepped up for Houston. Kingsley, he's been a little bit disappointing, but he's still been good. Graham Barton's obviously a stud. Jordan Morgan's good. Cooper Beebe probably plays at guard more than he does at tackle. Same with Zach Zinter, who I believe came from Miami, I want to say. But Packers, Preston Smith's contract is running out, so you could go edge. Safety would be a stretch at 7, in my opinion, even though they do need some safety help. So here, I think you just take whoever's on the top of your, big board, which might be Brock Bowers, but I don't think they'd go there just because they got Musgrave and Hunter. Oh man, from South Dakota State, I believe, or North Dakota State, one of the two. I can never think of his name, but they did just draft 2 tight ends last year. So here, Dallas Turner, you could help out your pass rush and your run game because he's a really good run defending edge. And for some people, he's definitely probably the top edge right now. So I think that's where we're going to go. Pick number 8, the Los Angeles Chargers. Jesus Christ. I did a video recently that should be coming out very, very soon where we went over their horrible cap situation. And I don't know if Gerald Everett's going to be back on this team. So you could go Brock Bowers. Jerzon Newton, though, could seriously help that D-line. And I think that's where I'm going to go. So Brock Bowers falling a little bit here. He is a monster, and he might fall one more pick. Because Tennessee, I have a feeling, is going to go tackle. And I think it's going to be Amarius Mims. I thought about possibly going Jordan Morgan, but Amarius Mims is a mammoth of a human being that moves at a ridiculous rate for that size. This is where the Brock Bowers the slide is going to stop because I don't see him going outside the top 10. And actually, I think it could be pretty good in this Saints offense. I mean, you have Olave on the outside, Michael Thomas, who might be his last year on his contract, but you still have Olave, Rashid Shaheed, Michael Thomas. You've got guys, and some of them can fly. So having that underneath safety blanket for Derek Carr that could be just huge in the long run. Didn't really expect to take Brock Bowers at 10 to the Saints. I was going to go in a different direction, but it is what it is now. Raiders. I don't think they go edge. Depending on what happens at receiver, they could go there, but I don't think they'd go there either. D-line or O-line is looking like it probably will be the move, and I might go Leonard Taylor here to help stop the run, or we could go into secondary. Cooper DeJean is among the safety group. Oh, man, oh, man. I don't want to take another tackle, but it could be in store here. We're going to go on the defensive side and draft Leonard Taylor for the Vegas Raiders because they need help stopping the run. I really thought about going in the secondary, but Leonard Taylor's the pick, and he's going to be a monster for them in the middle between Max Crosby and Tyree Wilson. Pick number 12, and we're looking at quarterbacks. Bo Nix could be a perfect fit here for the Vikings in that Kevin O'Connell offense. Same with J.J. McCarthy. Both guys, even Michael Penix, both guys just are, all three of them, I should say, just super accurate. And especially Penix, he usually puts it on the dot. Bo Nix has probably the most athletic ability of the three. McCarthy a close second. Penix really likes to stand in there and be that pocket passer, but he can extend plays. I think we are going to go quarterback here with Kirk Cousins' contract expiring, and I think we're going to go Bo Nix, who has completely revived his career. I'm not a Bo Nix believer still, but this would be a really, really good fit. Pick number 13 for the Indianapolis Colts, and I think you got to go get some help for Anthony Richardson so he stays in the pocket and he's protected. We do not want another Andrew Luck situation, and I think I'm going to go Jordan Morgan. He completely shut down Braylon Trice out of about 80% of the game against Dub. And whenever he went against Trice or ZTF, he dominated pretty much the entire game is what needs to be said. And then he dominated WSU as well. So, pick number 14, a little familiar for Washington. I think this is where they were last year. And Montez Sweat and Chase Young, both expiring contracts this year. I think you got to try and help him out. And Jared Verse has fallen all the way down here to 14 for you. And you also have Leatu Latu. So one of those two guys has to be the pick here. And I think it's going to be Jared Verse. And I doubt Ron Rivera will also be the coach in Washington next year. Pick number 15, LA Rams. And they could get a lot better just about anywhere you look. And I'm looking at the edge group. Either edge or corner. Kalen King is still there. Nate Wiggins is still there. Obviously, Cooper DeJean. Could take a safety as well. But I think you keep Leatu Latu in LA. And him and Aaron Donald are going to... That game-wrecking defense up front. Pick number 16 here is the Cardinals' second pick. And this is where you probably get some secondary help. Or some edge help. And for this Cardinals defense, they've been playing a lot, kind of a mix man and zone under Jonathan Gannon. And I think Kalen King would just be really good for them. Just a stud. So you get two Big Ten studs who just went up against each other in a top 10 showdown. And Kalen King, if he goes up against anyone not named Marvin Harrison, he basically shuts that half of the field down. New York Jets picking at number 17. Do you go O-line here? The receivers have yet to fly off, but they are going to. J.C. Latham might not be a horrible pick. That defense is so good. I think you might just want to shore up that O-line. Can even go Talise Fuaga here. Last time they picked O-line, they've gone for the big athletic guys. AVT and Mekhi Becton come to mind. Same with Joe Tippmann out of Wisconsin last year in the second round. They like to take their athletic guys, which could lean towards Kingsley Suamataia. I think that's how you say his name. Either him or Fuaga. Because Dwayne Brown is probably going to retire or just leave. Mekhi Becton has been playing fine, but you don't have anyone on the other side. So I think I'm going to go Fuaga here, which might be a little bit of a stretch to some people, but I think he is a very sound offensive lineman and offensive tackle. Now here, You could go get a Malik Neighbors, and Jamar Chase and Malik Neighbors would be insane, to say the least. And I think that's what I'm going to do. He is a wide receiver, too. I thought about Keon Coleman just to kind of have that T. Higgins replacement, but Malik Neighbors does so much for you. He would work the underneath game, and he is a yak king. Tampa Bay Buccaneers picking at 19, and could go wide receiver with Mike Evans possibly leaving. Could go quarterback with Baker Mayfield being on a 1 year. Maybe a 2 year, I don't know. Could also go in the defense. That secondary could use some help. Jack Barrett and Joe Tryon, Sharinka, or Shayinka, however you say his last name. You guys know who I'm talking about. Two pretty good edge rushers, and you have Vita Vea coming up the middle. So the D-line in the front seven is pretty good. For the Bucs, Levante David is getting a little bit older. I think a distributor like a Penix could be really good here, and I think that's where we're going to go. Penix, obviously, Heisman candidate, maybe Heisman favorite right now, depending on who you talk to. But super accurate, doesn't make a lot of mistakes, and he can get Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Rashad White. He can get those guys the ball, and they can go and run. And Trey Palmer. Trey Palmer has been really good for the Bucs. Number 20, Atlanta Falcons. And I'm not going to think for a second about this. We're staying in this quarterback class, and we're going Shedeur Sanders. Desmond Ridder is hot garbage. Bring Shedeur back to where his daddy played and let him cook. He already has Drake London. He already has one of the best running backs in the league. He's got one of the best offensive lines when he gets there. He's got Kyle Pitts. That team with Shedeur Sanders can actually go places. The defense is better than I expected. Go get yourself a quarterback, Arthur Smith. Please. Buffalo Bills. D-line, definitely a position of need. Von Miller getting up there in age. You could look to replace him. You could look to replace Gabe Davis if he leaves. And I think, honestly, getting a Keon Coleman here would be a huge shout. And I think that's what we're going to go for. Let me take a look at the edge real quick. Chop Robinson, actually, and JT Tuamaloau? I definitely butchered that. Two very intriguing prospects as well. Oh, no, I'm going Chop Robinson. Get a freaky guy on that edge to end up replacing Von Miller and for now being on the other side of him. And kind of just rotating with Miller or Floyd, whatever you really want to do. Dallas Cowboys, J.C. Latham looks juicy right here. Tyron Smith is getting older. Zach Martin's getting older. Latham, if he doesn't work at tackle, he could definitely work at guard. J.C. Latham is the pick. Pittsburgh Steelers, that one kind of hurts to go right in front of you. I still don't think your O-line's that good. You could take another corner. Cooper DeJean is looking pretty sexy right now. Could also go linebacker with Barrett Carter, who is a stud. Wide receiver you could definitely take, like have someone across from George Pickens. Deontay Johnson's usually in the slot anyways, even though he can work on the side. Cam Kitchens actually next to Minka would be pretty wild. I think we're going to try and shore up the secondary, and we're going to go Cooper DeJean because he's so versatile. He can play safety or corner. That's why he's listed as a safety. I'd consider him a corner, and just super athletic, super rangy. he's going to blow up the combine. I know that. Should have had a punt return this last week against Minnesota, but that situation is what it is. Houston, number 24, did not expect to see them up here, but they are up here. And for me, go get Emeka Egbuka. Pair CJ Stroud up with his former, number 2 receiver while he was there, but one of his favorite targets for sure. And then you have Nico Collins and Egbuka on the outside, and you have Tank Dell in the slot. That is a pretty damn sexy starting receiving group, along with if you bring back Dalton Schultz and then Damian Pierce in the backfield. Seattle Seahawks, I think this has to be somewhere on the defense. I think your tackles are locked up on an offense. The interior is definitely a little more questionable, to say the least, but they're still good. Cedric Van Pran isn't bad. Zach Zinter or Cooper Beebe as well would not be a bad pick here. But I'm looking at Barrett Carter or maybe even Chris Jenkins to shore up that run defense. And you can even go edge. Like, keep Braylon Trice in Seattle if you want, maybe. Because you have Nwosu out there, who I believe just signed a 3-year deal. But then you have Boye Mafe on the other side, who isn't, like... He hasn't been super impressive yet. So you could take a Braylon Trice or a JT Tuimalau. I'm probably butchering his name every time I say it because I say it differently every time. Even a ZTF, though. Like, any 3 of those guys, you're actually keeping in Seattle because I believe JT came from the Seattle area. I think that's actually where we're going to go is JT. He's better prospect than ZTF or Braylon Trice for me, and he can be a game wrecker as well. San Francisco 49ers, I think, are looking at this offensive tackle class, and they're like, okay, this is actually shaped up pretty well for us, and we're going to go get ourselves Graham Barton because he's a damn good offensive lineman that can help out the right side of this line. Jacksonville Jaguars at 27, you got to go for edge. And I think we're going to go with Braylon Trice probably here because Travon Walker hasn't been anything special, and Josh Allen might not even come back to this defense. So we're going to go Braylon Trice. Obviously, that's a projection pick, but you got to do it. Baltimore Ravens, who just kicked the shit out of the Detroit Lions, are here at 28, and I'm looking at this defense, and I want to add to it. You could get Cam Kitchens. No, because they have Wilson and then Marcus Williams. So, looking at either edge or corner, and Nate Wiggins is awesome. Chris Abrams-Drain, also a thought here. Even Kyrie Jackson getting a big physical corner across from another big physical corner in Marlon Humphrey. Denzel Burke, definitely an option here, but I'm going to go Nate Wiggins. Nate Wiggins has been an absolute stud at Clemson this year. Basically a lockdown corner outside of when he went against Keon Coleman and Johnny Wilson, which, fair enough. The Detroit Lions, they don't have a lot of weaknesses, but if they did, it'd be at receiver. And I know Amon-Ra is good. They don't use Jamison Williams, which pisses me off. Go get Keon Coleman. He went to Michigan State. Bring him back to Michigan and actually use the guy. Miami Dolphins, this is where another tackle could go. And I'm looking at Patrick Paul. Or even Cooper Beebe to shore up the inside of that line. You could also go tight end and get freaky. Go JT Sanders, which I think I'm going to do just because why not? Make that team even scarier on offense. Tavian Sanders to the Dolphins. Pick number 31 is the Kansas City Chiefs. I think you got to go wide receiver here, and Romeo Dunze under this Andy Reid scheme would be terrifying. And the final pick of this draft, the Philadelphia Eagles have pick number 32. They just went out and traded for Kevin Byard. Darius Slay and James Bradbury aren't getting any younger as well, but they do have some guys. I think I might actually go Cam Kinchens here. See, it's between him and Barrett Carter, but I think we're going to go Cam Kinchens, the stud safety out of the U, and that will be the first round mock. Obviously, first one I've done. Don't go too hard on me. I'm not totally into this class yet, but obviously Caleb Williams, Marvin Harrison going 1-2 won't surprise anyone. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Look for more of these to come as we get later into the NFL and college football season. Because obviously these are all projections and just opinions at this point until we get to the combine, the pro days, the specialty bowls. But yeah, these are always fun doing. Probably do another one in the next couple weeks down the line, maybe around week 10. So be on the lookout for that. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and take care.